Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm doing a video I haven't done for a long time, and I am unboxing a subscription box. Let me just grab it. And it is from a company called A Box of Stories. Now, they reached out to me a while ago, and with moving house and everything, I just hadn't had a chance to get around to speaking to them. But when I finally did have a conversation with the lady from A Box of Stories, I was really excited about their mission statement. So their idea is that their book subscription introduces readers to 4 new books, depending on which type of subscription you go for. It could be fiction, it could be a surprise package of a mixture of different genres, it could be young adult, it could be lighter reads. But over 70 million books are destroyed each year before people actually even get a chance to read them. So your new 5-star read, your next favourite 5-star read, could have been destroyed before you've had a chance to read it. And so their mission is to try and get these books into the hands of people. So A Box of Stories scans thousands of books, and they take recommendations from lots of different readers, and they come up with titles to send out in their subscriptions that they're confident that you're going to enjoy. So as I've said, the Box of Stories sends you 4 books with your subscription. Depending on which package you go for, you could receive them every 1, 2, 3 or 4 months. It's entirely up to you. The price ranges from about £14.99 to £21.99. I know there's discounts going on at the moment, and if you're interested, there is a description, there is a link down below. They've very kindly given me a code so that you will get £4 off your first subscription, and I will get a little bit of money to go towards funding my subscription habit. All books that are sent are brand new, and you can swap and change whatever type of subscription you go for as often as you want. So if you go for fiction one time and then you want your next box to be young adult, you can do that, and you can do that as many times as you want. So there's really loads of ways of making this subscription work for whatever you want to do. And I'm hoping, I haven't opened this, but I'm hoping that the books in here will really inspire me, and perhaps this will be my new subscription box I subscribe to, because I've cancelled all my subscription boxes because I'm not working at the moment. I have got a new job. But I am not working at the moment. I have to wait till I get my vaccine, because obviously I'm shielding. I'm due my vaccine hopefully soon. Haven't had the letter yet, but I'm hoping by mid-February. I digress. But I'm hoping with some of the money that I get from my new job that I could treat myself to a new subscription box, and this will probably be the one if the books meet what I think will be the standard. So let's open it and find out. It's very well packaged, but I've managed to open it, I think. And let's see what is inside. Okay, right. Okay, I don't recognise this first one. It is called Secrets We Keep by Faith Hogan. And this says, some secrets are never meant to be kept. The beautiful old bathhouse in Bally-to-Keep has lain empty and abandoned for decades. For devoted pensioners Archie and Iris, it holds too many conflicting memories. Sometimes it's better to leave the past where it belongs. For high-flying top London divorce lawyer Kate Hunt, it's a fresh start, maybe even her future. On a winter visit to see her estranged Aunt Iris, she falls in love with the bathhouse. Inspired, she moves to Bally-to-Keep, leaving behind her heartache. But can you ever escape your past or your destiny? A beautiful love story full of warmth and redemption. Well, I did say when I was in conversation with them that I was really enjoying some romance at the moment, so I'm hoping that maybe they've sent me some. This sounds really good. I'm going to check on Goodreads and see what its current rating is. Okay, I've just looked on Goodreads, and this hasn't got many ratings. It's got 1,180 ratings, 77 reviews, but it's got an average of 4.05, which is brilliant. So that's a winner so far. Let's see what else is in here. The next one looks like it's definitely going to be a romantic one as well. Somewhere Beyond the Sea by Miranda Dickinson. This says it's about Sarah MacArthur is living a life she never intended while grieving for the loss of her late father and trying to save the Cornish seaside business he built. She has put her own dreams on hold and is struggling until she discovers a half-finished sea glass star on her favourite beach during an early morning walk. When she completes the star, she sets into motion a chain of events that will steal her heart and challenge everything she believes. Jack Dixon is trying to secure a better life for daughter Nessie and himself. Left a widower and homeless when his wife died, he's just about keeping their heads above water. Finding sea glass stars completed on Gwythian Beach is a bright spark that slowly rekindles his hope. Seren and Jack are searching for missing pieces, but when they meet in real life, it's on the opposing side of a battle. Jack is managing the redevelopment of a local landmark, and Seren is leading the community campaign to save it. Both have reason to fight, Seren for the cause her father believed in, Jack for his livelihood, but only one can win. With so much at stake, will they ever find what they're really looking for? This sounds like it's going to be really interesting, and I love the fact that it's set in Cornwall, it's set in the UK, which is really nice, and I think it's going to have a bit more to it than just your average sort of romance. There's going to obviously a lot going on with grief and also with a single parent and a single dad. So let's look this one up and see what it has on Goodreads. Okay, so this one's got 436 ratings and 63 reviews, and it's got a rating of 4.23. An average rating of 4.23 is really good. So far I'm pretty impressed with both of these. Let's see what else is in here. Okay, this one looks quite fun. It's very bright. It's called Plume by Will Wiles, one of the funniest books I've ever read. Okay, let's see what this is about. Jack Bick knows he needs to change. The cans of lager in the work toilets, blackouts and malevolent cockatoos that haunt his days are a long way from the luxury lifestyles he profiles for the magazine he works at. When a giant black plume of smoke appears on the London horizon and a major scoop that might save his job falls into his lap, Jack spots a glimmer of light in the rising smog. He dives headfirst into a chaotic odyssey across a city full of real estate tycoons, literary fakes, late-night muggins and conspiracy theories. Jack seeks salvation through exposing the secrets of others, but will he be able to hide his own? I'm not sure this one is for me. I tend to struggle a little bit with male main characters and this kind of humour that they go for. But I'm not going to generalise. I'm going to give it a go and see what I think. But let's see what Goodreads says before I start. Okay, so this one's got 216 ratings, 39 reviews, and just an average rating of 3.64. So perhaps my sort of first impressions are correct, but you know, we'll wait and see. But I'm not as drawn to that one. So far, two great sounding ones and one I'm not so sure of. So let's see what the last one does. Okay, so this last one is called The Expatriates by Janice Y.K. Lee. I've got a feeling I've heard of this one. I wonder if I've already got it on my shelf in hardback. I'm going to have a look in a minute. It's Mercy, a young Korean American and recent Columbia graduate, is adrift, undone by a terrible accident in her recent past. Hillary, a wealthy housewife, is haunted by her struggle to have a child, something she believes could save her foundering marriage. Meanwhile, Margaret, once a happily married mother of three, questions her maternal identity in the wake of a shattering loss. As each woman struggles with her own demons, their lives collide in ways that have irreversible consequences for them all. I've read this one. I'm sure I've read this one. I'm going to check. Yeah, I read this one a while ago, and it had an average rating of 3.63 on Goodreads, and I gave it 4 stars. So I did actually quite enjoy this one. But it's a shame that it's one that I've already read, so that's unfortunate. So really from this, I'd say I've got 2 that I'm really excited about, one that I've already read, and one that I'm not so sure about, but I'm going to give a go. So that's not too bad, really. I will be passing this on to somebody else because I obviously really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars and I definitely remember it. I know that it was a really interesting book, and I loved it's set in Korea, and it was following I believe there was a girl that went missing, and it's following that, so I thought that was really good. And this sort of hierarchical society in sort of expatriate life. So I thought that was interesting, and I remember that one. So I'm going to go away and read the other ones now, and I will come back in a minute and let you know what I think before the end of this video, and hopefully they turn out to be as good as I hope they will, because I want to give this a thumbs up. I think it's a great company. I'm really excited about them and their sort of the idea behind their subscription service. So I'll catch you in a minute and let you know how I get on. Okay, so it's a couple of days later and I've had a chance to try 2 of the books. The first one I tried was this one, and if you remember, it's the one that I wasn't sure I was going to like, and it wasn't for me. I read the first 30 pages and this definitely wasn't one. I know my taste well enough to know that this sort of urban fantasy written by a male to be over funny, it just doesn't come across to me in the way it should, so this was a bit of a dud. However, this one, which was Secrets We Keep by Faith Hogan, was way more than I expected. I really enjoyed this one. It was a really strong 4 stars in the end, and I couldn't put it down. I read this in just over a day. I wanted to be reading it when I wasn't with it, and it's been a while since I found a book like that. In fact, you know, often I'm having to force myself to sort of sit down and pick up a book, and I'm enjoying it while I read, don't get me wrong, I'm not reading it for the sake of it, but you know, I haven't for a long time just had that calling and been like, oh, I can't wait to finish this so I can get back to my book, and that's what this did for me. It's about our main character, Kate. She is a high-flying divorce lawyer in London, and we know something's happened in her past. She's been left at the altar a long time ago, and it sort of left her a bit jaded, but she's amazing at her job, and she decides that she's going to go and visit her aunt, who she's not had much sort of connection with over the years, but she met at a funeral recently, a family funeral, and decided to go and visit her in this really small island in Ireland, where they run this sort of bed and breakfast style hotel, and we're flitting then on dual timelines between the present and the sort of 1950s, when we're following the aunt's journey and how she came to be where she is, and her story, and how that all ends up marrying in. And Kate falls in love with this bathhouse, which is at Ballytokeep, which is the place she's gone to visit, and it's a place where it's like an olden day spa where people went and sort of bathed in copper pots by the sea, and they used seaweed, and there was a little tea room, and it was owned by her aunt's brother-in-law, and so there's a story behind that. There's a story behind Kate and wanting to be there. There's also a story behind another one of our characters, Todd, who is an aging rock star who at the beginning of the book suffers a medical emergency, which then sort of changes his outlook on life. I just really enjoyed this. It was really good. It was definitely something that I would read again, and possibly something that I wouldn't have picked up had it not been for this book box. So that is a definite positive. I'm about halfway through the other book at the moment, really enjoying it, so I will come back to you when I finish that and let you know my thoughts on that, and then a full verdict of this book box. Okay, so I've just finished Somewhere Beyond the Sea by Miranda Dickinson. This was the last book in the box, and I really enjoyed this. I'm going to give it a 4 stars. It's about St Ives in Cornwall, which is a place I know quite well, and it's about a girl. She's moved home. She's a woman. She's moved home to take over her dad's shop, which is failing. Her dad died of a heart attack. She's in her 20s, I think, late 20s, and she's taken over this shop to try and sort of bring it back. It's failing terribly. What she really wants to do is make this sea glass jewellery, and she takes long walks on the beach with her dog in the mornings, and one day she discovers a star that's nearly complete, made out of sea glass, but there's one point of the star missing, and so she decides she's going to complete it. And then the other half of the story is about Jack. He is a widowed father with a daughter who's, I think, 7. They're suffering really hard times. He's struggling to find work, and they're living in sort of a chalet on a holiday home site that someone has let them have cheap, right by the beach, and they've been making the stars. And when his daughter Ness discovers that this final point's been made on this stars, it becomes a bit of a game, and every night they make a star and leave a bit missing, and Seren goes down and she puts the other bit on, and yet they don't know who the other is. And then in the background here there is a developer who wants to develop a piece of land that was a site of a female astronomer who was never really given much credit for what she discovered, and the town you know, wants this historic site kept, and so they are fighting against the developer on building on the land. And Jack gets a job with the developer, and it follows sort of the relationship between him and Seren and the sea glass stars, and both their lives and how their lives change from this sea glass star game, and from getting to know each other, and from you know, all these things that are going on. And it's just a really beautiful story about healing and yeah, doing small things for other people, and sense of community, and that someone is never wholly bad. There is a redeemable characteristics in everybody. Even who we sort of see as the villain in this has redeemable features. And yeah, it was just really heartwarming. It was really lovely. It was a really nice read, and so I give it 4 stars. So in conclusion, I am really pleased that I got contacted by a box of stories for this book box. I had 2 4-star reads, and the Expatriates, a book that I had already read, was a 4-star read, so that's pretty good going. 1 dud in there for me, but you know, 3 out of 4 is really good, and I think I would definitely recommend it, and it's definitely something that I would consider getting for myself again in the future. In fact, I might treat myself for Valentine's Day or something like that, I don't know. But I'm definitely going to look at getting another one, and if I do, I'll look at doing a similar video and letting you know. But as I said at the beginning of the video, if you're interested in trying this for yourself, I have got a code that you can use which gets you £4 off a subscription. So yeah, go and try it out if you fancy the idea, and I look forward to hearing from you if you do and how you find the box. But for now, I'm going to go away and read a few more books. So I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.